Ravens Wrap is brought to you by Bud Light, FlyLady.net, Ocean City Golf Club, Comfort Inn Gold Coast, Ravens247.com, the original Green Turtle Sports Bar and Grill, and hosted by the Blue Ox Bar and Grill.
And welcome in. It's another installment of the Ravens Wrap Show here on Comcast Beach TV at Delmarva's Rock Radio, home of the Ravens. Delmarva's, I just said Delmarva's Rock Radio, 93.5 The Beach. See, this week's got me all screwed up with the way they play it. Anyway, we are broadcasting from the Ravens Room, 127th Street and Coastal Highway in Ocean City here at the Blue Ox, home of Ravens Roost 44. I want to wish everybody Merry Christmas and Happy Holidays this week, the week leading up to the big day. Hey, I want to thank our sponsors, of course, the original Green Turtle, the Blue Ox, Bud Light, FlyLady.net, the Ocean City Golf Club, G&G Outfitters, Ravens247.com, the Comfort Inn Gold Coast, and JCTickets.net. Coming up, well, it's week number 16 of the NFL. It's game number 15 for the Ravens. Coming up, we're going to recap the loss to the San Diego Chargers. However, your Baltimore Ravens still 10-4, AFC North division leading. That's the good news. We'll also preview the upcoming game against the Cleveland Browns Saturday, not Sunday, Saturday at M&T Bank Stadium. I'm Mike Bradley from 105.7 The Fan. To my left, former All-Pro Baltimore Colts safety Bruce Laird. Bruce, welcome back.
Thank you, Daddy. Good to be here.
Editor-in-Chief of Ravens247.com and Parkville Rec football champion. He's OC local, former Lehigh College player, John Gehrig. John, welcome back again as always. So they finally turned the heat on in here from last week, but I felt apropos, folks, to bring in my, I'm doing a little Mr. Rogers neighborhood. You know, I came in my nice Ravens jacket here, but I brought out my fleece San Francisco 49ers jacket here because Merry Christmas to the Baltimore Ravens. It came with a bow-wrapped Monday Night Football as the Niners defeat the Steelers and bail the Ravens out from what could have been from a first or second seed to a fifth seed, some road games and all that. Not that that still might not happen, but thank God for the San Francisco 49ers on Monday night. Guys, I guess a couple things come to mind, certainly with the game against the Chargers Sunday night. You know, thinking about, wasted opportunities, a good old-fashioned butt whooping, and then, and I'm not making excuses for it, this is a San Diego team. They hadn't played good opponents the last 2 weeks, but they came in raring to go. Rivers hadn't thrown a pick. And if you take a look at it compared to, say, Green Bay and probably on par with Philly, San Diego's got probably one of the top 3 teams with the most offensive weapons in the league.
Yeah, they do. Yeah, they do. And we were hoping a Harbaugh would win this weekend, and someone did. And thank God for Jim out there in San Francisco that they did what they had to do. And at the end of the day, you go out there on a Friday afternoon, you're ready to play. Then you realize as a football team that Oakland did what they did. Denver loses, so Oakland loses, Denver loses. You're giving more credence to San Diego. Their backs are totally against the wall. Sunday Night Football, and you play that way. And again, that can happen. It's just happening more and more around the National Football League, guys. And what I don't like to see is just that type of play. When you just get your brains beat out, and it's all across the board. Offensive line, defensive line, secondary, linebackers. You pick it all out. Coaching, and the whole thing goes kaput. I just wonder, who are the Baltimore Ravens? They're 10-4. Yes, we're back in the playoffs. But who knows what you get anymore?
No, you don't know what you're going to get with the team. You hear about a lot of the national people, and I think Ravens fans take exception to some of the things that are said by the national pundits. And I think it's because they don't know who the Ravens are either, so they're a little frustrated as well. You can get a really good game out of this team, and you'll see that they lay a big egg like they did against the Chargers. But the NFL, and you sort of alluded to this, Bruce. The NFL to me is about matchups and how one team matches up against another. That's why you see one team losing to the same team that another team just puts a whooping on, and that was the case I think with the Chargers and the Ravens yesterday or on Sunday night. And the thing that I think comes out of that is that they've got the personnel that just creates nightmares for the Ravens defensively. And then when that happens to the defense, it's almost a mojo in the offense, John. They just seem to fall apart and they don't have the answer. I think the stat was going into that game, 18 times the Ravens took a deficit into the second half on the road and lost. Now it's 19.
Yeah, we talked last week that this was a balanced, any team's going to have trouble against a balanced offense. And that's exactly what San Diego has. There's been rumor, Phillip Rivers had been struggling all season long, uncharacteristically. He was one of the hot quarterbacks coming out of the league, one of the new guys, one of the up-and-coming young guys right there with Aaron Rodgers. He was going to be
The new stud.
the new stud. He was going to be right there, and he kind of, a lot of speculation that he was hurt, but he came into this game, and we warned everybody that he was hot coming in this game. 2 games in a row, 3 touchdowns, no picks, and he continued that against the Ravens. And I was a little bit surprised, though. They have the weapons, but their receivers aren't blazingly fast. They're big, but we're big in the secondary, and we just got smoked. I mean, that was somewhat surprising.
Well, and a guy that the Ravens were looking at in the offseason, Malcolm Floyd, he did the most damage to the Ravens. We got about 45 seconds. Go ahead, Bruce.
Well, I mean, real quick, fellas, and we can take this after the break, but again, when you rush 4, and the San Diego Chargers were very efficient doing that, they rushed 4, and we want to talk about this later. How can not 5 of our guys block 4 guys? How can we be in a 5, 6, 7 sack situation against the San Diego Chargers? That, to me, is complexity. I don't get it.
Rough day for the Baltimore Ravens. 34-14 loss to the San Diego Chargers. We'll pick up the conversation. More of the Ravens Wrap Show coming up here on Comcast Beach TV and Delmarva's Rock Radio, 93.5 The Beach. We'll be back.
Are you embarrassed to invite people to your home to watch your favorite football team? Well, don't worry, because you're not alone. FlyLady.net is the support you need. Join us and our more than 600,000 members and learn how to crush the clutter and game plan your way through routines that'll help you organize your home and your life. Tackle clutter and get your home game day ready with FlyLady.net.
G&G Outfitters, Inc. is a premier full-service in-house provider of branded merchandise and marketing solutions. With over 20 years of proven experience, G&G continues to successfully produce branded merchandise for some of the world's leading corporations, associations, and teams. From start to finish, G&G Outfitters is your single-source, one-stop partner for promotional products, logoed apparel, and all of your branded needs. For more info on the services and capabilities of G&G, visit ggoutfitters.com or call 301-731-2282.
In April 1959, Art Wall won the Masters, edging out Carey Middlecoff and Arnold Palmer by finishing birdie, 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 par birdie. 1 month later, Ocean City Golf Club celebrated the opening of their first 18 holes. That course has been transformed now into one of the most scenic golf layouts on the East Coast. Come experience 36 of the most beautiful and challenging holes you'll find anywhere. Ocean City Golf Club in Ocean City, Maryland.
What's going on?
We're giving Matt the NFL experience of a high-pressure field goal.
Look out! It's terrible, man!
There's an easier way to get an ultimate NFL fan experience. Just snap the tag wherever Bud Light is sold and you can win. Bud Light in the NFL. Here we go.
Hey, it gets easier. Really? No.
Welcome back in. It is the Ravens Wrap Show here on Comcast Beach TV and Delmarva's Rock Radio, home of the Ravens, 93.5 The Beach, broadcasting from the Ravens Room here at the Blue Ox, 127th Street and Coastal Highway in Ocean City. If you're wondering why I'm wearing a little maroon, it's because of the 49ers bailing the Ravens out with their win against the Steelers Monday night. So I'm going to keep this on. Even though I'm a little hot, I'm going to keep it on.
I love those guys.
This is great.
Now.
We love it.
I love those guys. Those Niners, go baby.
I grew up a 49ers fan and a Browns fan when the Colts were, when the Colts left. I grew up a 49ers fan with Joe Montana. So I still, have a kinship. Now, obviously, I'm a Ravens fan first. Don't get me mistaken, but I still have a lot of 49ers stuff. So I was a happy man Monday night. Oh, and by the way, my Niners D and David Akers, they got me in my Fantasy Football League championship for a second straight year. So I was a happy guy Monday night.
Hey, John Harbaugh at least had one good coaching performance this week.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
Harbaugh's a 3-0 against the Steelers.
That's right. That's right. If you're Jack Harbaugh, though, you're giving Jim an A and John a D. That's for sure. Maybe an F on that one.
John probably coached Jim, so you got to give.
All right.
Maybe he spent more time on the Niners game plan.
Yeah, that could be. That could be. That's good. I like that, Teddy. Well, Bruce, we talked about this during the commercial break, and you bring up a good point. Question was asked by Matt Venzel, my buddy from the Baltimore Sun, at the press conference the other day on Monday. What were the Chargers able to do with getting after Joe Flacco with just 4 players? What were they able to do? And the answer was where there was really no breakdown in the blocking. It was really more of holding the ball. Joe didn't have a lot of places to go with the ball that were clear cut to him. They did a really nice job of covering. It was mostly zone coverage the whole game, and they just executed it very well. You read between the lines, clear cut to him. That kind of tells you, mentally speaking, you know, we talked about it a ton, Bruce, you know, anticipation.
When I hear a coach says clear cut to him, he's saying it's clear cut to Joe, but not clear cut to us as a coach.
I took it the other way around.
Right, yeah, that's what I meant, yeah.
Clear cut to Joe that he had no place to go.
Right.
But to Harbaugh, if you're playing zone, you've got to have a place to go. Because you find windows, you find holes in that zone. Now, if it was strictly double man, where everybody's locked, or man to man, and he feels that he doesn't have any place to go with the football, but in zone, you have to have a place to go because everybody understands that the defense goes this way, and then receivers find those windows, find those holes within that zone, and that's when the ball's let go.
And you have to anticipate that the receiver's going to go to those soft spots and throw to the same spot that he's going to. Otherwise, the window closes by the time he cranks up and throws it.
Absolutely.
A perfect example was it was 3rd and 13 or 14, and Torrey Smith Joe got sacked, but it was the face mask.
That's right.
But Torrey Smith was wide open. He was covered, but when he came out of his route 2 steps, boom, if the ball was there, I mean, he was wide open. That was a 3rd down conversion. We got bailed out by the face mask. The very next pass was a dropped interception, and the very next pass was a intercept. He was determined to give the ball over to the Chargers.
Yeah. Well, and I think a key point, everybody's going to talk about the missed field goal in the beginning of the game being a huge momentum shift, and no question about that. But before Billy Cundiff, let's go back to 2nd and 10 on the play and 3rd and 10 on the play. Throws to Lee Evans that I thought should have been touchdowns, one of those 2. We should have had 7 on the board. Shouldn't even have had to come down to a field goal. That's even bigger in my mind.
He should have thrown 3 interceptions on the first drive. The play is there a worse short ball thrower in the league? I mean, Lee Evans was coming very earlier in that drive. He's like a 5-yard route coming across the middle. Bolden's wide open. He throws it completely
behind him.
He tips the ball up.
Did you see Q? Did you see Q look at him?
He was frustrated the entire game.
I mean, they usually don't show that because both sides, I know Joe doesn't show it when someone drops the ball on him, but Q just looked at him and going, wow. What?
He's wide open.
I mean, what?
What do you do in practice? You should be. It's like Michael Jordan shooting a free throw, with his eyes closed. You should be able to just make that pass on instinct. And then he threw the ball short to Evans twice. Later in that drive.
There was another time in the second half. He ran a streak from the slot all the way down the field, and it was going from the Ravens bench down to their left. And Q was wide open. There wasn't someone within 25 yards of him. Flacco didn't see him. And he had time to throw. He didn't see him. It was 3rd down. Q comes off the field. It looked like he was getting ready to throw his helmet, and he stopped.
He stopped. But you know what, guys, and let's take this one point further. And again, I'm not going to say it a little bit at times. You know, certainly Cam Cameron doesn't have a little bit of blame in this, but let's realize the fact that, you know, we don't talk about the fact that all these guys are wide open. But Cam called a bad game, or it's Cam's fault. It's not always him. I mean, you know.
Well, part of that is because what you see on TV.
Yeah,
because you see Joe Flacco holding the ball, and everybody says, "Oh, the receivers can't get open." But it gets back to what Bruce was saying and what John was saying. He doesn't throw to that spot, and he just holds the ball and holds the ball.
Right, which is
looks
the
like
quarterback's fault, not the offensive
quarterback.
Right, we got about 30 seconds.
Well, I mean, again, understand. So I want the fans to understand this. When these players, the linebackers and secondary, go to their drops in zone, they have specific areas where they go. So let's say the Sam linebacker, strong, he's buzzing to the out. The middle linebacker is buzzing to the strong hook. So real quick, where's that hole? It's right there. So when you see it, it's got to go.
All right, well, the Ravens Wrap Show coming up next. Keep it here.
Ravens Wrap is brought to you by Bud Light, FlyLady.net, Ocean City Golf Club, Comfort Inn Gold Coast, Ravens247.com, the original Green Turtle Sports Bar and Grill, and hosted by the Blue Ox Bar and Grill.